Hello and welcome to WTNB Today. I'm your host, Wendy Benton. Thank you for joining me. I have in the studio with me today Sarah Haratine. She is the Center for Social Impact Coordinator of the United Way of the Ocoee Region. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Wendy. We're really excited to be here with you.
Well, I'm excited for you to talk to us today because United Way is changing a little bit, adding some new things, and I want our audience to understand exactly what your role is and what United Way is doing in our community.
Well, we're really excited because with the United Way, as many people traditionally know it as, we raise money for nonprofits in our community, right? And so really what we've been striving for is to impact the education, the health, and the financial stability for every person in our community in a positive way. And so what that's looked like over the past few years is we've had multiple nonprofit leaders and just different partners come to us and say, hey, we traditionally know you guys as giving us funds, but we could really use some other ways to strengthen our organizations. And so over the past few years, we developed the Community Action Network. And so what that's kind of evolved into now is our Center for Social Impact, and we're really excited about some of the progress that we've made.
Well, I know your goal in promoting education and health of every community member plays a big role in the Community Action Network. So going back just a little bit with the Community Action Network, what was the plan there as far as it benefiting the community and community members?
Right. So with the nonprofits in our community, which includes churches and all the different nonprofits and social service partners here, we saw that there was a need for educational resources such as trainings. We saw that there was community issues and needs that really were going to take more than just the nonprofits coming together. And really take business leaders and education leaders. And so we established different coalitions based on some of the top needs that we found in our community, such as the Bradley County Housing Coalition. Some people know of that and some of the work that we're doing. And in addition to those, so education and the coalitions, we've also done a lot of information and referral services. So 211, that was an initiative that we had a couple of years back that we launched, and it's still going strong. It's a way for community members to get connected to the social services that they need. So essentially, in our effort to strengthen the nonprofit and service sector, we really seek to promote the health and financial stability and the education of each community member through that.
Well, and I know United Way has a lot of different areas that you work in and that you deal with schools and children and things like that as well. So this focus, the Center for Social Impact, what makes it different now from the Community Action Network and the other things that you do in the organization?
Yeah, so with the Center for Social Impact, so many people traditionally have known the Community Action Network, and a key feature that has really made us evolve into the Center for Social Impact is our Non-Profit Incubator, which just launched about a little over a month ago. And this nonprofit incubator is an office space for 15, we've got 15 different office spaces actually on the second floor of our current United Way building. And it's more than just cheap office space, though. We've got mentoring and executive coaching and just a lot of more intensified opportunities for nonprofit leaders and staff just to grow. And through that, our hope is that they are more empowered and that we as a community are more empowered to really solve some of our community's greatest needs.
Now, with the 15 nonprofits, how long would they actually, I guess, be housed there at the United Way offices, in this office? Is this for as long as they need to be there? Is there a time limit?
Right. That's something that as we've kind of worked this out in our minds, there's some that will probably be there for a lot longer than others. We have some partners called anchor tenants. And so those are some of the nonprofits that are a little bit more established, that they will use these more as their permanent residences as long as they need to. But then there's some initiatives that we have up there that this is kind of just a stepping stone to having more of a presence in Bradley County in this region. And so some of them will be there for a little bit longer. So it really depends on what their needs are at this point.
Okay. And are these brand new nonprofits that are just starting up? Are they established? And you know, I guess I'm thinking of okay, those that are already in our community are probably have a place for the nonprofit now. I mean, would they move over there? Would they change their office space from where they are now to the new office space? You know, I'm just trying to get an understanding of.
There's some that have done that. So for instance, the Red Cross, they are moving some of their offices to, well, they have their one main office here. They're moving that to our Center for Social Impact. And then there's some newer initiatives where they just haven't had office space, or some of these nonprofits have been working out of their homes. And so it was kind of the idea behind it to really not just provide office space for the ones that might have had it already, but to do that to a certain extent, but also to really give a launching pad for some of these newer nonprofits, or ones that just haven't had the financial resources or the opportunity to have a more permanent office space, and just in a professional setting and with the extra additional resources that we'll be able to provide them.
Okay.
So.
And within the mentoring and the executive coaching, do you help them set up their like their finances, or how they might control their monies, or things like that would be very beneficial to someone who wants to grow their nonprofit and be successful?
We do. So with the Center for Social Impact, we, just like with the Community Action Network, we continue to offer trainings. And those trainings, a lot of them are centered around best practices for nonprofits. So board development, resource development and fundraising, we've got volunteer management. Those are all just some of the topics that we cover with the different trainings that we offer on a yearly basis. And even a recent training that we did was When Helping Hurts. And so we brought in one of the co-authors of the book and just really centered it around the nonprofit partners and really anybody that wanted to come in the community, just to learn more about just a different philosophy of how to help people. And so we really do strive to not just strengthen the nonprofit and the organizational skills and management, but also even just talking about the philosophy of how things can be done in the social service realm.
Okay. Now, is the training only for those who are part of the incubator, or is that open to any nonprofit in the community?
The trainings are open to anybody in the nonprofit community. And so, for instance, last spring we held a board development series, and so we had some people from some local churches come. We had some board members from different organizations come. We had different nonprofit leaders and staff come. And exact same thing. So we'll continue those trainings for the entire community and nonprofit community, as well as having those trainings open for the Center for Social Impact partners, and really making it a point to ask those Center for Social Impact partners, what are your guys' needs? They each had to take an assessment that looked at their organizational capacity and different factors that play into that. And so based on the areas that they're looking to grow in, we're really hoping to have some of the trainings around those different topics, which a lot of those topics are the exact same topics that the greater nonprofit community has been asking for that we've been providing. And so it's a really neat mix that's allowed us to focus as well on the entire community, but both parties.
So. And I'm sure being part of that, the incubator, they're able to help each other as well as and have the resources of their United Way partners right there in the same building.
Yeah, it's been a really phenomenal, just having people all in the same building has just really increased the collaboration already. And something that we've really striven to do is have the culture of transparency, just even through how we've laid out the architecture of the office spaces. So for instance, with our offices, which anyone's welcome to come by and we'll take you guys on a tour. We have storefront windows, so there's that idea of transparency as far as you have, you can see in the window, you can see that sort of thing, but each person does have their own office space, so that we realize, each nonprofit's working with donors and that sort of thing, so that they have that level of privacy. But yeah, so we've really striven to have the culture of collaboration. And actually, a really cool story, there's a nonprofit, Family Promise, that's in the incubator, and they work with churches, and they house different homeless families throughout those different churches to help them gain stability as they do other programming. And so just through being in the Center for Social Impact, they were able to talk to another executive director and then one of the other staff members from another organization. And through just those connections, they were able to say, I think our churches, our men's Sunday school class would love to adopt a Family Promise, a family that would be able to come through and we could house them. And so just through those connections, they were able to really find some good churches that would be able to help their program. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I know you guys are, I'm sure, excited about this,
Mm-hmm.
The new program, the new initiative, and you want everyone to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I think that's very special and something that's being offered in our community.
Mm-hmm.
Do you only take those nonprofits in the Cleveland-Bradley County area?
It's a really good question. We accept anybody in the Ocoee Region, so typically Cleveland-Bradley County, but also Polk County is part of our service area. And so at this point, most of these nonprofits, they do have their service area within Bradley or Polk County, and so that has been a requirement that we've asked. And so
okay. Now, how many spaces are still available?
We're actually all full.
Okay.
So we have the 15 office spaces, and we have 8 nonprofits that are up there. So some of them have multiple office space, just depending on how large and what space that they needed. But yeah, right now we're full. There's a couple of nonprofits that I know of that at the end of, I believe, next year, they will be moving on because they'll be more permanently trying to set their roots in Cleveland and just looking for bigger office space. And so they will be moving on. So we'll have probably some availability a little bit next year, but right now we are full.
Okay, well that's great. That's a wonderful thing to have. You've just opened a month ago, and and you're full and helping these organizations out, and I'm excited for you and excited for our community as well, because I think having something like this to help their foundation will only solidify their programs, their organizations for the 501c3s, and just help them grow and again help our community.
That's right. Yeah, we're really excited, and ultimately our goal is to strengthen the community. So whatever our top needs are in our community, which we found are housing, there's some food needs, and then as well just the idea of this rent and utilities and just needing extra assistance with that. And so we've really sought to address those needs through bringing these partners to the table, and not just the nonprofits, but the business leaders, the community leaders, the education leaders that all have a stake in our community to really start to solve these different issues that are going on. So we really feel like this is a step in that direction to strengthening these nonprofits that are doing just that.
Yes, definitely. If there are nonprofits out there who are interested in the programs that you would be offering to the nonprofit community in general, how would they get in touch with you to check the dates for those?
Yeah, if they want to visit our website, unitedwayocoee.org, is a great place to start. We've got our Facebook page as well, United Way of the Ocoee Region. Is probably the best place to start, and they can look on our website for our contact information and all of that.
Okay,
So.
well that's wonderful. Sarah, thank you so much for being here today and sharing about what the United Way of the Ocoee Region is doing, and you guys have made some transitions here lately, and just to be better for this community, Cleveland and Bradley County area. So thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having us, Wendy. We're really, really excited to be doing all this and just to be able to share with the community.
That's wonderful. Thank you too for being with us today, and we will see you next time on WTNB Today.